Hey everyone, welcome back to Kate's and Trading. It is January 30th, 2025. It is Thursday. It wasn't a terrible day in the market, although it was weird at the end of the day, and I'll get into that in a minute. I think I'll skip over all the stuff in red today and just go down to the green stuff, the good stuff. So starting with TechL, it was up a little bit, but this is ugly. I mean, very choppy at this time, and it's in a bit of a downtrend. Even though my indicator has a buy signal on it, to me it just doesn't look good enough. If this was the only thing out there, and because I'm only looking to make a 0.5% gain, then maybe I would take a chance on this, but I think there was a couple other things that I thought were better, so I went with those instead, and I'll tell you what those are in a minute. ERX, coming back up a little bit. It looks like it kind of rounded out here, but I don't trust it just yet. This is one of these things where even though like the swings look very clear cut, I don't want to jump the gun on it, so I would wait a little bit. Plus, it's like a total doji close. It closed like right in the middle of the bar. Skip that one. BITU, I sold it this morning prematurely. Let me go to the 5-minute chart. So as I finished the indicator yesterday, I ended up putting a super tight trailing stop on it, only 0.5%. And the way it's implemented is basically what happens is once you have a 0.5% gain, code is enabled that makes it so that it basically ensures that you'll lock in a 0.5% gain, not a 5% gain. But what it does is as soon as you drop below that 0.5%, it'll give you a sell signal as long as you're above the 0.5% for a gain. Kind of hard to understand, but basically what it means is the trailing stop is incredibly tight. So just fluctuations and noise will get you stopped out. So it's actually kind of funny. And I ended up selling at around 9:38 this morning, right here on this bar. And literally the next bar more than doubled what I would have made. And then it kept going. And if I kept on holding it a little longer, I would have probably tripled what I gained. But I mean, I still made like, I don't know, 1.5% off of it or something like that. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but I could have certainly made more out of it. And one of the things I realized now is that even though I don't use the EMA ribbons in the calculating of the buy and sell signals, I certainly can be looking at that and say, well, I'm not going to sell it yet because this ribbon is still very wide and uptrending and it's blue and it's good and all that stuff. So going forward, I'll use a combination of the trailing stop and the ribbon together, just mentally. I'm not going to write code for that. And that should help going forward. Anyway, getting back to this one. So I wouldn't buy it now. I mean, it closed right near the bottom of the day. The low, yeah, pretty much at the low. So that's an avoid. And this is like exhibit A, why I trade the way I do. It's almost backwards too, because the way I'll be doing things is instead of day trading, it's almost like night trading, because I'll be buying right near the end of the day and then probably selling very early in the morning. What's truly bizarre, and what a lot of people don't realize, is that the vast majority of moves, like if you look at the S&P 500, the moves that happen the most are overnight. Sure, there's a lot of stuff that you can do during the day and money to be made during the day, but it's weird how the nighttime seems to be better. All right, moving on to TQQQ. This one had a kind of a weird day, and let me go to the 5 minutes so I can show you what I mean. So most of the day was just, all right, well, not good today, and then it's coming up, coming back up, coming back up. All of a sudden, and I was watching this now because I have my alert set to go off at 3 p.m. So as soon as 3 p.m. hits, if there's anything that looks like it could be worth buying, I'll get an alert for it. So I gave it a little while from there. I think it was at like 3:30 I really started paying attention. And ironically, this is 3:35 right here where this bar just plummeted. And I don't know why. Huge volume. The next one, same thing. So I was like, what is going on? I tried looking online to see if there's any news or anything. It was just, I don't know. I think it's just like the way the market works, like nothing is done by humans anymore, right? It's all like automated. So it's probably that there was some kind of article put out or something. Some AI agent picked it up, excuse me, and then everything else picked it up. And so then all of a sudden it was like a spiral out of control. At least that's my speculation. I mean, look at SPYU, huge dump. But it came back quite strongly. And actually, this is one that I bought right at the very end of the day. I bought it at 359. And I did that because if I look at the 5 minute, it was quite resilient. It came back a lot more than the others did. So I figured if there's going to be one that looks like it's worth buying, it's probably this, because it fell a ton, but then it bounced right back up. So that's a good sign, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. Yes, still doing well. I actually thought about buying this one. It did the same kind of thing where it fell a bunch, came back up pretty strongly. But at the same time, I'm like, this looks like it's getting a little exhausted. Like it's at this peak now. So it might be overbought. So I said, let me hold off on that one. TNA, Total Doji, skipping that. FNGD. FNGU was down today. FNGD was up, but I just don't know. I mean, it's still a bull market. You know, I just don't trust it. LABU, I was so close to buying this. It was around here, right in this area where I was like, oh, this looks like it could be a buy. And then I'm glad I'm waiting till the end of the day to buy because I stayed out of it because of all this action. Had it not done this and it stayed kind of sideways, I probably would have bought it. But it didn't, so I didn't. DRN, hanging in there, very sideways, very weird day today. I mean, this is something that I can capitalize on because of the tall bar. You know, it opened over here. Whether it went down or up, it doesn't really matter if you have the trailing stops in place, right? Because in this case, it happened to go up. So my trailing stop would have probably kicked in around here somewhere and I would have, you know, walked away happily. As it is, if I ended up staying in it, I would have been upset because it would have come all the way down here and that would have sucked. So quickly in and out, that's the way it is for me. SOXL did okay. I was looking at buying this, but I don't like how it's so far down right now, way below the 20-day moving average. Or 21-day, and it has a ton of resistance here, like all of this stuff above where it closed. So I skipped out on that one, and I decided to buy KOLD. I am very hesitant to put a full position into KOLD and Boyle, so that's why I did half and half cold, half SPYU. This thing is so volatile, it's crazy. It behaved pretty well though, and it was one of the only ones, it might have been the only bullish, well, I say bullish, it behaves bullishly, but it's actually like considered bearish. But it didn't fall down as much as the other ones did at the end of the day. So I was like, okay, that looks pretty strong. It looks pretty resilient. So let's hang in on that one. And it closed right near the high of the day. The only thing I'm worried about is that one, it's coming out of this really steep downtrend, but it's also got a couple of little points here that it's trying to get through. Like this close and this close. Pretty much where the bar today closed. So hopefully it can push through that and move forward. Volume was a little low, but we'll see what happens. So quick update today. The way I trade, well, I'll get into a video at some point, like getting into the specifics of how I trade, because I know it's very unusual. And maybe I can make like a series on it in like 7-part course or whatever it is that can explain what I do. But anyway, if you like this stuff, please remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I plan to be here every single trading day. And as I always say, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. So do your own thing, man. But happy trading. See you, everyone.